Welcome again to another Discover Trempealeau County show. As you know, we've been traveling the byways and the main roads of Trempealeau County, visiting with interesting people and interesting things that they do. And today we have a very special program. We're going to be visiting with Ron Loken, who is a Trempealeau County Highway Commissioner. And we're going to talk a little bit about the Highway Department and what they do and how Ron got involved with the Highway Department. But I think our main focus today, Ron, is going to be kind of looking at blacktop and how you do blacktop. I think that's our main focus.
Okay, we'll start on that after a while. We'll start from scratch and we'll take it to the finished product.
I think we in Trempealeau County, you influence every one of us every day, you know, and I think I kind of compare it to the scenery of Trempealeau County. You know, we go by it every day and we don't even notice it, the scenery, because it's such beautiful scenery, but we don't notice it because we live here. Our roads, I think, are some of the best roads, thanks to the Trempealeau County Highway Department, in the state of Wisconsin. I worked in 4 different counties, and I've never seen a county with so many roads covered with blacktop and good solid roads. And I think it's a compliment to your department. And so I think we want to talk a little about those roads today. They just didn't happen. I mean, people made them the way they are. So we really appreciate the opportunity today to look at the blacktopping operation and the things that you do in the field. And I guess we're going to go right in the field and watch them install blacktop. But before we do, standing right in front of the Trempealeau County Highway Facility sign here, right along 121 and just out of Whitehall. And let me ask you, Ron, how long have you been Highway Commissioner?
I started January 1st or 2nd, I believe, as Highway Commissioner.
And how long were you working with the department prior to that?
29th of this month, I'll have 35 full years in. I started August 29th of 1966.
Well, you've seen a lot of changes in that time. I remember, since I've been in the county, I remember 4 highway commissioners. I think this is right. Noble Thronson, do you remember Noble?
Yes, Noble's the one that hired me.
And then Gordy Johnson, I think, followed him. Is that correct? And then Richard Neon, and then you.
Yeah, that's correct. Noble retired, I believe, in about 1970. Gordon was here about 17 years, and Richard was here about 9 or 10 years as commissioner.
And could you tell us a little bit about what type of work you did before you became highway commissioner? What was your responsibility? You probably worked on a paving crew or something to begin with.
Well, basically, I started off driving truck, and then I was a motor grader operator. I was a patrolman on the state section out of Galesville. I was hot mix foreman on the oiling crew for about 10 years, and prior to being commissioner, I was superintendent for 9 or 10 years.
So you came through a lot of different areas of the highway department, which means you're very well qualified for a highway commissioner because you know all the steps along the way, right? How many people do you have in the Trempealeau County Highway Department?
Right now, we have 51 union people that work out of our shop, and then we have 3 office people, and there's 4. We have a shop superintendent and 2 superintendent, road superintendent, and a highway superintendent, and myself.
When you talk about superintendents, I think you mentioned 3 there. Is the county divided up in three areas, or do they have different areas that they're responsible for?
No, we just the shop superintendent works out of the shop. He coordinates all the shop operations, the repairing and the purchasing and the specifications and the highways. We just started a new superintendent. The state encouraged us to go to 2 superintendents, which most counties are going to now because of the 7 days a week, 24-hour day on call. Jim, do they have kind of different responsibilities then, these 2 superintendents, or do they overlap somewhat? Well, they overlap somewhat, but not an awful lot, because you've got vacations and that as far as timesheets and stuff like that. If one is gone, the other one can take care of it. One works mainly with the crews, helps me with the crews and does office work. The other one's out in the field and out checking the roads and doing various things for the state or the county or the townships.
I think you were about ready to mention their names before I interrupted.
The patrol superintendent is Jim Johnson out of Galesville. He was a hot mix foreman prior to me getting to be commissioner. And the highway superintendent's Wayne Leon. He's worked for the state for quite a few years, and was a foreman for probably the last 5-6 years, and now he's highway superintendent.
You mentioned shop, but do you have a kind of a crew that's putting in blacktopping, that's plowing roads in the wintertime, and it's kind of an outdoor crew or something like that besides the shop?
Basically, all our people are outdoor crew. They they have a specific job. They might be a truck driver, but we have general maintenance. One time they might be digging a hole for a culvert or doing various things. We've got a lot of flexibility in our jobs here.
Yeah, or they could be repairing a truck or something, or grader.
Well, basically we have mechanics that do the major overhauls and stuff, but as far as greasing and regular maintenance, yes, anybody's available for that operates their own machines. They're required to take care of their own machines and on small maintenance like that.
Well, I think you folks ought to be commended for the job you're doing in Trempealeau County and the highways. I always used to have a little philosophy back when I was working: no news is good news, because you never hear about the good things, and most of the things you do are good. You always hear about the bad things. They're quick to let you know. But you've got a fantastic road system, and do you have any idea how many miles of roads or how many bridges you got in this county? It's a lot of them.
Well, I have a cheat sheet here, Olin. We have 177 miles of state roads, 292 miles of county roads, and the local roads, which would be township roads, villages, cities, and that, almost 858 miles for a total of 1,330 miles in Trempealeau County.
Wow, that's a lot of roads. Now, how does it work? How does the highway department relate to the townships? Do you do some township work? Also, do you assist the state on some of the state roads? Or what's the interrelationship between the county, state, and local government?
Well, starting with the state, we have a budget with the state every year that we maintain the state roads within Trempealeau County as far as maintenance. We work very closely with the townships. We have a co-aid road system, and that's probably why the road systems are in as good a shape as they are, because once the townships bring them up to certain standards, they can be accepted into the co-aid road system, and at that point, they're eligible for partial funding through the county. They petition for that through the county board.
You mentioned co-aid. What do you mean by that?
Co-aid is aid between the townships and the county. Once they're brought up to the standards, we will participate in their rejuvenation or whatever down the road, or blacktopping or culvert work, whatever they need.
So you do assist the counties on maintenance then. Do you also, townships I should say, you assist them on maintenance? Do you also assist them with like snow removal and things like that? Basically,
the townships handle their own maintenance per se, but the major jobs, the construction jobs, the paving jobs, the bridge replacements or whatever, that we assist them with. But they plow their own snow and do minor patching and stuff like that on their own. And if they get into a bind as far as heavy snow or they need help to break open a road or something, we're available to help them then if need be.
A lot of trucks going by here today. I think they must know you're out here being interviewed, Ron. Well, is there anything you'd like to add relating to the highway department? If not, we would kind of mosey on over a little closer to the action that we're going to be seeing today.
No, just that you are right. I feel that Trempealeau County has one of the better road systems within the state, and a lot of compliments not only from you but from other people throughout the area and other adjoining counties. And hopefully our job is to maintain what we have and keep improving on it.
Before we go, maybe I could ask you, because it is a little quieter than once we get up to the machines. When did Trempealeau County, and you got to give a lot of credit, I think, to the people that made the decision on buying their own black, what do you call it, black hot mix operation. When did they first buy that?
I believe it was 1962, right in that range is when they first bought it. They used to be portable, that they'd move it from one end of the county to the other. Once we relocated to this area, we made it permanent in the central part of the county, and then we go all directions out of here.
You know, I was born and raised in Trempealeau County here, and I went to a country grade school like a lot of people did, Big Creek, north of Oliva. And we had one vacation every year that we call mud vacation. And that was never the same week, because it was the week that the roads got too muddy to get through. So we just had a mud vacation from school.
Hopefully we don't have that again, but we do have some flooding and some washout problems, but hopefully it isn't mud days anymore.
Perhaps you could tell us about when this was started, this facility. I remember when it was built, but I can't remember the year.
I'm not exactly sure about the year myself. It was, I'm guessing we've been here probably about 18 years now. Originally we were over at Arcadia, and then Ashley was building around us, and Ashley purchased our old shop. That was the main shop there, and then this one, land was purchased here. And from that point, we've built on, and the offices now moved out here also.
Well, when the offices were down at Arcadia, that you said Ashley had purchased, the bookkeeping facility was in the courthouse, I believe, at that time.
That's right. The bookkeeping facilities were always in the courthouse until probably 4 or 5 years ago, and they, because of the shortage of space up there, decided to move the highway operations out here.
Yeah, maybe Wade would be taking a shot of the office space. Is that where you have your office, and the superintendents and so forth?
Yes, that's where the office manager, and we have 3 secretaries over there. Office manager, payroll clerk, assistant office manager, and receptionist is over there, plus myself, and the superintendents are over there. We have a conference room in there for highway committee meetings, and a planning room in there with our maps and everything in there also.
And how does, just for the public's purpose, how does the billing work out? Most of you, this is county expense. How does the billing go? Do you have your own checking account, or how does that work?
All the checks come into the highway department, and they're turned into the county treasurer down there. We file them here. We bill out of here on our material, time and material, and then the checks come in here, and then we turn them over to the treasurer down in the courthouse.
And the payroll?
Payroll is done here, and the checks come out of the courthouse for the union and non-union people come out of the courthouse. But we do all the cuts. The checks are cut down there, but all the paperwork is done here.
Well, Ron, maybe we could swing over and take a look at the it says Trempealeau County Highway Department, a big sign on a building.
This is our main shop here. This is where all our parts, our shop superintendent works out of here. The foreman's offices are in this right-hand corner here. As you can see, we have a satellite dish on top, which our DTN, our weather computer, we use 12 months out of the year, but mainly in the wintertime for forecasting is held in this building. And on this side, we've got our blacksmith shop, and we have 3 mechanics that work out of here. And on the south side of the building is cold storage, where we keep a lot of our trucks and stuff that we use every day, and keep them under a roof too.
There's a lot of skill inside that building.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on there. Everything from blacksmithing and mechanicking and cleaning. We've got a cleaning facility in there, wash bay and parts in there. Takes up a big space in this one side here.
Do you find that your employees stay with you for a long period of time, or do you have a large turnover?
From the time that I've been here, I think there's probably been a handful that have either quit, other than retirements. It's very few of them that have changed occupations once they've...
That makes it kind of nice to have that continuity, because it takes a long time to get someone trained, doesn't it?
That's right. And once they learn the operation and It's not good to have a big turnover. The biggest turnover we have right now is probably with retirements.
I see Wade is kind of pointing this way. I was going to ask about a couple other buildings here, but maybe we should kind of get to the side here and talk a little bit about what looks like some real old equipment. You haven't used these for a few years.
No, the little cat here, the antique cat, was donated by Hovels down in Tamarack area down there. It was, I believe it was down in growing up with the brush, and they donated that piece of equipment to us, and I believe we had the other one on hand, the blade behind there, but made a monument out of it, I believe in about 1978.
Does the highway department still have dozers, or do they contract that work?
No, we still have several cat with different sizes that we use for different things. We rip shale and rock with it, and we use them pretty steady. I believe we have 3 of them right now. Do bulldozers or caterpillars? You know, the new tractors have heat and they have air conditioning. Is there such a thing on cats? On cats, we've got one that's got enclosed, and we use it in the wintertime down at our rock piles for stockpiling. That does have a heater in it, and I believe it's got air conditioning. I'm not positive on that.
And how many graders do you have in Trempealeau County?
Right now, that's a question I'm not exactly sure. I think we've got at least one in each shop. I think we've got about 8 or 9 graders now. We're down. We used to have a lot more graders. Right now, I think we're down to about 8 or 9 of them that we use. We try to keep one at each shop for emergencies, and then the construction crew has got one, and there's one in front of the paver and prep work for paving.
I think Wade is kind of in a position now, Ron, if we want to turn a little bit. You've got another couple of buildings here. You got one that with kind of a long roof on. Could you explain what that building is used for?
Well, that's another one of our cold storage units. Originally was built, and we added on the lean-tos, so we're trying to get everything under cover as much as possible. This equipment's so expensive now that the longer we can keep it viable for use and looking good, the better it is for us. We try to put everything we can inside. There's everything from tree planters in there, probably for forestry department, to guardrail that's in there now, and also our semi tractors probably in there, and anything we've got, we try to keep it under roof.
Is that where you keep the trucks in the wintertime if there's a snowstorm coming up, so make sure they start?
Well, that isn't heated there. That's a cold storage. We do some of the extra trucks we leave in there, but mainly in wintertime we've got the shed here, and then our satellite shops. We have 4 other satellite shops throughout the county, one in Strum, and there's one in Osseo, one in Arcadia, and one in Galesville, and they're all inside for them trucks for starting purposes.
Well, we're with Ron Loken right in the center of the hot mix plant here, and we're going to get a little details on how hot mix is made. What percentage of the hot mix is made up of rock like this?
60% of it's rock like this. This is all designed mix. We have our lab over here that we test it and test the samples, and 60% of it's rock.
Why do you use limestone?
Well, it's available for one thing, and in this area we're pretty predominant with limestone, and it does provide a good mix and a nice rideable surface.
It lasts. It's durable, right? And what are the other ingredients?
Well, we have, you can see here behind us, we have 4 different hoppers. One has got sand from, which we take from a farmer behind here. And the second one is the rock. That mixture is in the second bin. Then we do use some river sand. It's a little bit better sand than the sand that we have behind our plant. And we also add gravel chips that we have hauled in here. And the fourth bin provides a real hard final surface coat on there.
The two different sands that you have, is there a certain percentage of each one of those sands that you use? I think I heard you say river sand and just sand that you find in the field, pure sand.
The total, he sets that all by design in the plant, in the hot mix computer room here. And it all depends on the percentage of the sand. Sometimes you get into a little more clay sand, and then we use a little more percentage river sand. But the biggest component is limestone, which is 60%.
Explain what he's doing, Ron.
The loader man is Gene Rybarczyk from right here in Whitehall. He charges the plant. He fills them hoppers up with each individual course that we need. Right now he's putting limestone in there. His next bucket will be the next bin that runs low. He'll probably put sand in, or the river sand on the third one.
Before we get into the mix of this and how that's done, let's just take a look over here at the big rock pile. I mean, you must bring in one heck of a lot of rock. Do you haul that in, the crushed rock?
Yes, we take bids in the fall of the year from that. We've had two, 3 vendors before that bid on this. There's, I believe there was 50,000 ton hauled in there this year, and we had probably 10,000 ton left there. So there's probably 60,000 ton all told in that pile to start with.
You have to have a lot of the ingredients available because you do a lot of blacktopping during the summer. And do you have any idea how many miles you put in of blacktop in the summer? Kind of a tough off-the-cuff question, but.
Oh, that varies. We've had a pretty good year so far. There's up to 40, 50 miles a year. It depends on the township work. I'd say a normal year is we run through 80 to 100,000 ton of material through our hot mix plant here, whether it be for patching material or for total overlay on a road. Well, each bin is run from the inside with a percentage of the rock or sand, and it all ends up on this belt underneath the hoppers, and then it's fed into the drum, the turning drum that's turning there next to the stack. At that point, it's fed into there, and the oil is injected into it. The tank behind these bins holds up to 30,000 gallons of oil, and there's about 15 gallons of oil in every ton of blacktop produced. So we go through an awful lot. We probably go through over 100 transports of oil a year.
Now, when you say oil, what is that made up of? The oil, the ingredients of the oil. What is that? What is that?
It's actually regular asphalt. It's it comes out of Minneapolis, St. Paul. Basically, we take bids on that. We have 4 different vendors, and because of the competition, we get our best price that way. And it's regular asphalt, just like you get your gas made out of. It's a bituminous asphalt product.
Now, there's a circular movement there, something going around. There's also a stack with what appears to be steam coming out. What's happening there?
Well, that's where it's getting mixed in. The oil and the drum there is turning it, and it's mixing it and heating it at the same time. This is all heated by natural gas, and that point, once it gets mixed to a certain point, it goes up the elevator there into that silo machine there. I believe it's 100 ton of material we can keep in there. And at that point, then when the trucks come underneath there, we have that material on hand, so we can load up to 5 trucks at one time, get them on the road right now without having to wait for it to mix it.
Do you have much in the way of maintenance problems? It looks to me like there's a lot of sophisticated equipment run with computers and even all these gears and dust and everything. Do you have much problems with maintenance?
Our hot mix operator that's within this computer shack here has been with us for many years. Ron Klemick is his name, and his dad was on our plant, original plant. He takes care of the maintenance on it daily, and he can just about tell every bearing that's just by the sound of it that's going out of it. And we have a good mechanical force up there at the shop that helps out, and welding shop in the spring to get everything up on par so we're ready to go again come spring.
Ron, maybe you could explain what's going on here. We're in the field watching them pave.
Okay, it's probably kind of hard to hear me right now. We're by the machine, but truck just backed in. Wheels are locked into the paver, so we can't roll away. And we're dumping into the hopper. They're paving about 2.5 inches thick. The guy up on top here is driving the paver, and the two guys on the behind here are the screed operators, they're called. They set the depth and kick out for driveways and stuff like that as they go. Right now he's checking for the depth of the material, and the other guy's watching for his side of the screed. They call it the screed is the strike-off plate underneath there.
With a truckload, about how many feet do you think that they blacktop?
That's, I'm not exactly sure. I would say probably 200, 250 in that range. There's probably about 18 ton of material on that load. And it'll vary with every road. Some of them are overlays that don't get as thick as this. And
something came out on the left there, Ron. Explain that. It looks like it's wider all of a sudden.
That's the extension. He pushes a button there, there's a driveway there, and it kicks out for that and lays a wider mat in through on that one side there. This side doesn't do that because the driveway, or this is a straight edge here, and he'll pull that back in when he gets past the driveway, and then when it comes through with the shouldering, we'll rock that so there's nice taper onto it. Don't break the blacktop away from the main mat when they go into the fields.
How long have you had this machine, Ron?
This machine was new this spring. We traded in one we had before. Was getting to the point where if we stuck any amount of money into it, we was going to have a lot of money stuck into it, so we decided to trade it in. We got pretty good trade-in value on it, and this one will last us for 10, 12 years at least.
I noticed, we were down to the plant and it was hot, hot mix. You can see the heat coming out. About how hot do you think it is now?
Oh, just guessing, I would say it's at least 325, 350. That's why you don't walk barefooted on it very long. It has happened with kids. You got to be very careful with it, but it's well over 300 degrees, I'm sure.
As we came, there was a roller. Now, I believe he's coming in the distance. When is this rolled? Does it roll right away, or does it have to stay on for a while before it's rolled? And also, how soon can cars drive on it after it's laid down like that?
Well, the roller is coming up behind us now. He can follow right up behind the paver, basically. He'll make several passes on this, and he has a watering system on there that cools it down and also compacts it. There's a vibratory roller. I believe it's a 20-ton vibratory roller. And basically, after he's rolled it twice, you can drive on it. We like it to keep traffic off of it as much as possible because it does show the wheel tracks for a while, but it basically doesn't interfere with the mat once it's been rolled.
Does the roller do anything in terms of compacting? I think you said it was 2.5 inches thick. Does it compact it any further than that?
It'll probably compact this on this rock base. Probably if it's laid it down at 2.5 inches, it'll probably be around 2 inches or 2.25 inches after he's done compacting it with a roller.
Is that a standard depth, or do you use a deeper amount, say on state roads or something like that?
This is depth for a one lift on it. Lifts, we mean one layer. If we were going to put 2 layers on this road, we'd probably lay about 1.5 inches the first time, and then come back and give it another 2 inches. And heavily traveled roads, we do that sometimes. The state does it in 3 passes a lot of times.
Well, you can feel that vibration from here, can't you?
Yeah, it's quite a machine. I believe it's classified as a 20-ton compaction, so after he's gone over it, it should reach the density, and density is basically the compaction of the material after it's rolled.
There's water. It must be water in there because there's water running on the outside. Is that for the cooling that you mentioned a little earlier?
It cools the material somewhat, and it helps keeps it from not sticking to the steel drums as he travels over it. You can hear the water crackling now. He got about as close as he can with the roller right now, and he's got 1 pass, and he'll go down and back and make probably 2 more rolls on this before it's completed, so he's got it totally covered.
Ron, you mentioned a little earlier that you have, on occasion, you put in 2 layers. One's a little thinner than the other. Would you explain under what circumstances that would be used, the 2 layers?
Well, one reason is for the first one, if you've got uneven base, you want to true that up. You get a little more rideability with the 2 passes. And also, if you got heavy traffic, you want a little bit more material on there, and you don't want to put it all on in one lift. So with 2 lifts, that helps give you the added stability of the depth of the blacktop.
Wade is filming the machine. Is there something in that machine that does any more mixing, or is the mixing done, at the plant where we saw and is just dumped in?
There's augers in that feed from the hoppers there to keep the segregation. It also feeds from the truck into the screed, and it also helps with segregation so you don't get all the rock in one lump on one side or the other. It evens out the mat.
So, Ron, about how long would you expect the longevity of this road that you're putting in? And I believe it's a town of Hale here, is it not? How long do you expect this road to last?
Well, the biggest part of it lasting is the base underneath. This one's got a pretty good base on it, and the key to it's to have a good base. You should be able to get 15 to 20 years on a road like this. You might have some patching from frost heaves off and on, but rule of thumb is on a town road, I would say they're getting 15 years out of this without having to do much of anything other than just patching here and there over some culverts.
Was this road, to be where we're standing here, it looks like it's gravel. Was this blacktopped or something before you started? Was it kind of deteriorated form and you decided to put a new blacktop on? I guess my question is this base. How'd you get the base here? What's the base made out of? How thick should the base be?
Well, you want a good base on it. I'm not sure if this one was reclaimed or not. By reclaiming, I'm talking about we come in with a machine and grind up the existing blacktop and use that for base and spread it out. Then we put fresh crushed rock over the top. The key to it's to have a good base. In years past, if you wanted 18, 20 feet of blacktop, it was probably 18, 20 foot of base. And you've got to have a good base on it. And now the last 20 or 30 years, all the townships and that are getting their roads widened out good, and if you got a good base underneath it, your blacktop will last that much longer.
I maybe missed it. Did you say how deep the base should be? Normal, good depth for a base, like you talking about 6 inches or so, or a little bit more than that? I suppose it depends on the soil. If you got peat and muck soil underneath, you'd have to get through that, I imagine.
I guess, you'd strive for a minimum of 6 inches. I'd probably like to see at least 8 inches, like you say, depending on how much or what type of material's underneath. If you're in the clay, you're going to need more, and if you're on solid rock, you might need a little less. But I would say a minimum of 6 inches to make a good base.
And Do you use what kind of rock for that base? Sandstone, limestone?
Well, unless it's recycled from or reclaimed, ground up of the old blacktop, it's probably shale on the bottom and then crushed limestone over the top of it.
Ron, would you know how many counties have their own blacktopping plant like you do here in Trempealeau County?
Offhand, I'm not exactly sure. I think it's probably 10 or 12 at least. Some of the smaller counties never have had. It's the bigger counties, and I'm estimating probably around a dozen of them right now within the 72 counties.
Well, what happens if they don't have a plant? Do they hire private contractors to do that? Are they available?
Sometimes they do that, like Buffalo County and Jackson County get a lot of material from us. They have their own paving crews and pavers, and they buy the material from us, and sometimes contractors will come in and set up for a short period of time also.
Well, I think it's fortunate you got your own plant, because look at the roads in this county. It's second to none in Wisconsin. And let me ask you another question. I've seen someplace, I can't tell you where you go over what appears to be some black material and then rocks on top. And it's I think you're doing something to the road for longevity or something. Could you explain what that is?
Yes, that's called seal coating. On a road like this, probably 8, 10, 11 years down the road, it might get to the point where it's starting to crack up a little bit from the frost cycle that we have in Wisconsin here. And then we go in with a seal coating procedure. We spray a thin mat of oil that seals up all these smaller cracks, and then cover that with a gravel. We use a pea gravel. You can use limestone, but we find the dust is a little more problem there, so we use gravel, and we get probably 5 to 7 more years of life out of that type of application.
Well, Ron, we've covered a lot of things today. We saw your plant. We saw the material being applied here in the field. The hot mix blacktop operation. You're in charge of a lot of different operations as a highway commissioner, but we really appreciate you showing us around today and showing this procedure. I'd guess that 99% of the people have never witnessed this, and I hadn't up close. And it was really an interesting program. I really enjoyed it. And I'd like to say I think you're a highway commissioner of the best road system in the state of Wisconsin. The reason I say that, we ride in buses. We've had 115 buses in this county from mainly Minneapolis and St. Paul. They can't get over the road system that we have here in Trempealeau County. So I want to congratulate you and all the rest of the highway committee and the crew and everybody that's involved for the great job that you're doing on the highways here in Trempealeau County. We really appreciate it. Maybe now when people drive down the road, they'll notice the road and also notice the scenery. We see them, they're so commonplace we don't even see them, you know. So is there anything we may have missed that you'd like to add, Ron?
No, I think it's pretty well covered. Appreciate you coming out, and again, it's only as good as the material you have and the people you have working for you, and I feel we have both good material and good people working for us, and all works together, and appreciate you and Wade coming out today.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you on another Discover Trempealeau County program.